Okay, once you have your first list created, the next obvious step is, in order to start getting opt-ins with that on that list, you're going to need a sign-up form. So, in order to do that, go up to Sign Up Forms, click on that there, and if you haven't created one before, it's going to give you this lovely little, every time you start a new list for that matter, you'll get another one. So just go ahead and click on Create Your First Sign Up Form. Okay, then at this point you're going to get templates. You can scroll through the templates if you like. Although on this one there just aren't any particular choices. I prefer primarily to use smaller opt-in forms, and the reason for that is because I'm using light boxes and two-step opt-in forms, and it looks a lot better. But coming up, I don't want to have a huge form just sitting there in the middle of the thing, so I tend to go with the smaller sign-up forms. We'll just give this one a shot here, and once you click on one there, you can select different color options depending on your choice there that you want to make. Just go ahead and pick the color combination you like the best, and then at this point you have loaded your form, and you can edit any of the you can add a header if you choose. You can go ahead and add text to it. You can select the font family, font size, and all that business. If you want to edit the header, and then you can collect it as full name, first and last name. It's truly up to you how you want to do it. If you do the first and last name, then you're going to get a total of 3. Of course, the full name a little more streamlined, and we also have some options within that. You can choose different save field, and then you can of course also edit your submit button. I normally prefer, because most of my sites are HTTPS, and the links that they give you for the submit button, unfortunately, are HTTP, so they'll cause error, and it won't properly display on a site with SSL. So I will normally always opt in to switch to the normally I try to use anything except for submit on mine. So people get tired of seeing the same things on there, and I'm sure people see a lot of people do instant access as well. But at any rate, and then you can also create a footer. You can either leave the Aweber link in there or not. I usually remove it. I figure they get enough advertising from me as it is. I'm not going to give them any extra. And my opt-in page. So at this point, you're going to want to save your form when everything looks like you want it to. And then you can go on to the next step then. Now here's where you're going to name your form. And mine. Okay. And then we're going to, at this point, you get to decide. You can either use the basic version, which is a simple page that's customized with your thing, with your logo. It's going to tell them to whitelist your email and that sort of thing. Or you can create a custom page URL if you like, if you want to redirect to someone to an offer or something of that nature after they opt in. And the final one that you can choose is no redirection whatsoever. They just stay on the current page. So, and then on the already subscribed page, you only get 2 versions on that. So at that point, when everything's all wonderful for you, and the already subscribed page, that means if somebody's at some point already subscribed to your page, and for some reason they come to and go to fill out a form, then it's simply going to tell them that they're already subscribed to that list. And then you also have some advanced settings. You can enter in ad tracking for that if you like, and you just need to create a unique name for it so that you have a way of telling your different ones apart. And then you can have them go with a welcome message, your first follow-up. And then you can also have form data, as in the subscriber name or whatever, passed to your page for personalization, which if you have set up that works with, that's wonderful. But for most people, that's just really nothing you need to worry about. So at that point, when you're once you've got everything here as you need it, and these don't need to be, the advanced settings do not need to be bothered with if none of those options are something that you need. And at this point, you can go ahead and save your form. And at this point, you can either click the Go to Step 3 button or simply click on Publish. And then it's going to give you 3 options. In this instance, they'll give you the code directly on the page here, which we'll look at in a second. For this one, you enter an email address. If you have someone else install, if you have somebody else do anything having to do with your site, then you can send that information to them. And then the third option is to have Aweber themselves host the form. And then they'll give you a link to the page there that you can then provide to people. It's very easy to really add opt-in forms to your page. There's no reason to get excited or feel that you need a developer for that. You get 2 versions. When you click here, you get the basic JavaScript version, and this one is the shortest, fastest, easiest, and has an additional benefit of if you're using the JavaScript snippet and you happen to make some changes to your opt-in form or some of the settings, like say for instance you want to change the URL that you're redirecting to after they fill in the form. If you're using the JavaScript, then it will automatically update. There's no reason for you to have to go and enter in a new opt-in form into your page as you would have to do if you're using the raw HTML version. And the HTML version basically is just everything with formatting, and it's all the CSS and everything. Truly long document. There are some Squeeze page builders that will require you to use the HTML, and if that's the case, this is what you want to do. Most of the time it's going to cause a problem for you if you try to include the beautiful form styles that is if you want just the basic form itself, and that's all you need, just go ahead and click there and remove that. And then at that point, go ahead and click on this. It'll select all of the text, and then you can just right click and say copy, and then add that where you need to add your opt-in form. On the JavaScript snippet, exactly the same. You simply click on it, it will select, copy, and then paste it in where you need. And that's going to be the end of our look at creating your opt-in form, because it is now finished. Next step, we'll be looking at adding your squeeze page. See you then.